zurück. Sie sehen, die Reiterinnen und Reiter sind derzeit dabei, den Parcours zu besichtigen für die wichtigste Prüfung in der Einzelwertung zumindest des Longines FEI St. Gallen 2021, nämlich den Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland, welcher um 16:30 Uhr startet und auch von unserem Broadcasting-Partner Schweizer Fernsehen SRF hier übertragen wird. Wir werden Ihnen in ein paar Minuten noch auf den großen Screen die Kursanimation, also die Parcours-Animation einblenden und ein paar Worte dazu formulieren. Ich möchte Ihnen jedoch zumindest im Vorfeld den Kurs noch etwas detaillierter erklären, der Initialparcours des Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland. Zumindest werde ich den Versuch unternehmen, dies zu tun. Wenn Sie von der Tribüne aus, das ist auch meine Sichtweise, gegen die große Anzeigetafel, den LKW mit der Anzeigetafel sehen, dann ist parallel zu unserem Blickfeldsprung Nummer 1 aufgestellt, etwas auf der linken Seite des Platzes, ist ein Steilsprung, in Rot und Weiß gehalten, 1,53 hoch. Es geht dann in einer leicht gebrochenen Linie gegen den Ein- und Ausritt gesprungen, auf Höhe der kleinen Anzeigetafel. Unser Partner Walter Knoll derzeit eingeblendet ist, auf Hindernis 2. Der erste Sprung unseres Titelpartners und offiziellen Zeitnehmers Longines, ein Boxer, 1,50 hoch, 1,50 breit. Am Ein- und Ausritt vorbei, die Wendung auf rechte Hand durch die Diagonale mit der Trippelbarre in den Farben unseres Partners RS Direct, blau und weiß mit ein bisschen rot. Die Trippelbarre ist 1,55 hoch, 1,90 breit. In direkter Linie, Distanz von 19,70 Metern auf Hindernis 4, der Weiterer Steilsprung ganz in blau gehalten mit etwas weiß, 1,60 hoch. Dann aufs offene Wasser. Beim Reintreten ins Wasser gibt es auch hier Fehlerpunkte. Das offene Wasser ist 3,80 Meter breit und ist Element Nummer 5 dieses Parcours. Dann dreht die gebrochene Linie etwas nach links in die untere linke Ecke des Platzes der Tribüne auf Hindernis 6. Das ist die Wendung nach links vor die Tribüne zur dreifachen Hindernis 7 A, B und C mit diesen Bogenfenstern und den weiß-grün-goldenen Stangen. Der Einsprung ein Boxer 1,53 hoch, 1,60 breit. Mit zwei Absprüngen auf das mittlere den Steilsprung mit den unifarbenen goldenen Stangen 1,55 hoch und mit einem Absprung auf den Aussprung ebenfalls wieder ein Boxer 1,53 hoch, 1,55 breit. In einer Distanz von 25,5 Metern geht es dann auf Hindernis 8, ebenfalls noch vor der Tribüne, rechte untere Ecke, Longines, Steilsprung, nur 2,50 Meter breit und 1,60 hoch. 1,60 entspricht auch der Maximalhöhe dieses Longines Grand Prix der Schweiz.
It goes on for a minute and just there's a live connection. There's nothing at the moment. I'm slightly careful at this stage for turning mics on because you're never quite sure whether you're being fed around the world and you just don't realise it. And no one warned me.
Dann auf die Schlusslinie, Wendung nach links, gegen die Tribüne gesprungen aus der oberen linken Ecke. Dieser neue Sprung, rot beschriftet mit St. Gallen, die Spitze von Bischofsdienst nachempfunden, St. Gallen Stofftradition.
They are very sensitive, these mics, so you do get quite a lot of noise in your ears when you're moving around, which I find a little bit off-putting, but that means the quality of what's coming out the other end is good, apparently. Right, guys, where are we? I don't really want to WhatsApp at the moment because they'll be chasing me if they need to.
Yeah.
Well, and it may well be that they've got a couple of issues and that we jump in after it started. So
Check
we'll
before
put
you
them.
are starting.
All the tests, we've been testing for 2 or 3 days, and the tests have all gone extremely well. So. But I can see on that's Longines timing, and there'll be a button up there that says live. I'm
Live,
hoping it's
yeah.
going to give me the score. Do you use Longines timing yourself?
Yes.
So when that's gone live, will that give me a running total of clears and things?
Yes.
It will.
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
So on the it should
On the
come up
right,
with
where,
the
but
rosette.
where that rosette
Yeah.
is, it comes up live,
Live,
isn't it?
and
Or something.
it's the rosette.
Yeah.
12.
Let's see.
Richtig, da
Oh,
ist
here we
falsch.
go.
Da ist richtig.
Dieses Modell aus Stahl ist mit einem feinen Diamantbesatz versehen und präsentiert sich an einem auswechselbaren Armband aus blauem Leder. Herzlichen Dank für die langjährige Partnerschaft mit Longines und das große Engagement unseres Titelpartners und offiziellen Zeitnehmers für den Pferdesport. Nun also die kurze Kursanimation. Sie sehen sie eingeblendet auf dem Screen. Oben linke Ecke, Hindernis 1. Der Schoneinsteil 50 hoch. Dann gegen den Ein- und Austritt, Hindernis 2. Longines Ochser. Pferdesportanlässe. Entdecken Sie in diesem Rahmen die offizielle Uhr unseres Events. Ein Modell aus der eleganten Longines Dolce Vita Collection. Dieses Modell aus Stahl. Longines CSU St. Gallen 2021, meine sehr verehrten Damen und Herren, wir heißen Sie willkommen zum sportlichen Höhepunkt der Switzerland. Es haben sich insgesamt 50 Paare qualifiziert für den großen Preis. Falls Sie eine Startliste in Ihren Händen haben, dürfen Sie die laufende Nummer 4 Konfirmanden 40 den Klaus Sturmberg für die Schweiz streichen. Es verleihen also 49 Paare. Die 25% Besten der Gestarteten qualifizieren sich für die alles entscheidende zweite Runde. Das sind also, wenn 49 tatsächlich an den Start gehen, vorausgesetzt 13 Tage. Die Startreihenfolge in der Entscheidung ist die umgekehrte des Klassements aus der ersten Runde, da einige Fehlerpunkte werden mitgenommen. Heißt aber auch, dass nicht alle Paare die fehlerfrei bleiben, sondern es mehr als diese 25% oder diese 13 werden qualifiziert sind für die zweite Runde, für die Entscheidung. Wir dürfen Ihnen die Jury vorstellen, der Präsident Alfred Cabo Schwarz, Richterin 1 Brigitte Schwarz, Richterin 2 unser Gast aus Italien, Francis Haskins Jones und Ambassador Bruno Lauscher Schwarz. Der Parcours aufgebaut von Gino Lascher und Beruflich Schwarz mit ihrem Team auf einer Länge von 475 Metern mit 13 Sprüngen, 16 Hindernissen, somit voraussichtlich erlaubte Zeit 72 Sekunden. Ladies and gentlemen, Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland. The length of the course 475 meters, the time around 72 seconds. In total, we have 13 obstacles and 16 efforts in round 1. Mesdames et messieurs, Longines Grand Prix de la Suisse avec un parcours longueur de 475 mètres, le temps accordé 72 secondes. En total, nous avons 13 obstacles avec 16 efforts.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Longines FEI Jumping Nations Cup of Switzerland. Well, we're here in St. Gallen, a sunny St. Gallen for a change, because this morning, as often happens here at this beautiful showground, it was pouring with rain. And we're getting underway with the 50 competitors that have come forward for the Grand Prix, representing 13 nations. And of course, this is the build-up to the Longines FEI Nations Cup jumping on Sunday. I'm Phil Gazala, sitting here waiting for the action to start, and I'm delighted to have alongside me the international British show jumper, Alice Watson. Alice, thank you very much indeed for joining us. We're just getting underway, as we say. So in the arena, we've got Fernando Martinez Soma and Cor Baca, one of the team members for Mexico, competed in the World Equestrian Games back in Tryon for Mexico. Alice, first of all, doesn't that horse look fantastic? It looks really well, and the crown looks fantastic too, doesn't it?
It does, yeah, and it's lovely to see the horses back out on grass. I think the last year in particular, a lot of horse and rider combinations will have had very limited opportunities to be competing on the grass again.
And of course, we've got a big build-up to the Olympic Games coming. We'll just come back from Fernando in a minute. And so, you know, time is quite short for the Olympics now, isn't it? And a lot of the riders are here that are going to be at the Olympic Games.
Yes, absolutely. And I think some of the riders are still needing to actually get their qualifications in order to compete there on the horses they've chosen.
Well, the course designer here, Gerard Lechat. 72 seconds, the time allowed around the first of the two courses. 50 starters, 25% through to the jump off. Alice, I'm going to let you just talk a little bit about Cor Baca, a 14-year-old Dutch bred.
Yeah, he seems to have settled into a little bit of a better rhythm now. He started just a little bit unsettled, but Fernando's doing a good job settling him down, keeping him in the rhythm.
I mentioned that there had been some rain earlier, and I just wonder whether that might have just caused us there. He's just gone outside the time, so the first of the 50 competitors stops the clock in 71.77 seconds, and I actually gave out the time of 72 seconds. Oh no, sorry, it is just 2 now. I thought that was one time penalty. So it's 2 down, just inside these 72 seconds allowed. 8 faults for Fernando Martinez Soma and Cor Baca for Mexico. Maximum height of fence is 1.60 in this Grand Prix. 150,000 euros up for grabs for Israel. Robin Muir riding the 9-year-old Stowita PS. Robin Muir, who formerly a vaulting champion for France, now a solid team member for jumping for Israel.
Absolutely, he said he wasn't really that interested in riding when he was younger. He did it to please his parents, and then got quite into it and decided it wasn't so bad.
I think his sister rides, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, she was on the European team with Israel at the last Young Rider European Championships. Also riding for Israel. They have a Israeli grandmother. Short 2 strides in there and a bit of a stretch coming out.
And this is just a 9-year-old. He wouldn't have jumped that many tracks to this high, could he?
No, particularly given the circumstances of the last year.
Yeah.
Horses are almost a year behind at this stage, whatever their age. Would be green for this level.
3 down, 12 faults for Robin Muir for Israel with the 9-year-old Stawita PS. Third of the 50 to go for Czech Republic. Just 19 years old. What a big moment for Sarah Bringalovka with KAS Cine DC. Riding as an individual here this weekend. Czech not having a team. Already represented a country at the Junior Euros. Alice, a 19-year-old riding, you know, this level of competitions with the likes of Mr. Gerda and things in the lineup, quite exciting.
Yes, absolutely, I'd imagine. That's what she's always dreamed of, and here she is. Lovely big powerful little horse. Getting a little bit strong with her there. It's a short 6 strides after the water, and he just ran away with her a little bit.
And I suppose that can happen because you put the pressure on to clear the 3.8 metres and all of a sudden you've got to go woo-woo.
Absolutely, and I think the course builder's been quite clever here. He's made them really open up to the water with a forward distance and then shorten right back up.
Beautiful over that flank.
And 60 in here, big spread out. Just showing a little greenness at this level. And they'll be back. I'll have learnt a lot from that.
Over the 72 seconds time, lads. So 1 time penalty to add to the 4 down, but absolutely no disgrace for the 19-year-old Czech rider, Sarah Bringalkova.
Nice to see her giving a big pat there. They'll be back for another day.
Well, as I say, you know, this young lady's at the very start of her career.
Incredible opportunity to be riding at a show like this, in an arena like this at 19 years of age.
Eliane Bowman, one of the 12 riders representing Switzerland. 14-year-old Campari Z.
Shortened up nicely for the 1.60 metre vertical afterwards. Is that a little bit more experience?
That's our first clear here in the Longines FEI jumping Grand Prix in St. Gallen. A clear for Elian Bowman for our hosts here in St. Gallen. Well inside this time of 72 seconds, 69.21. So we know that time is it's not pressurized, is it, at 72 seconds?
No, he wasn't hanging around. But it's very doable. Competitors representing our hosts, and another one here, Edward Schmitz. Just 21 years old, riding the 14-year-old Holstein-bred Cortino 46. And this young man who's been right through the ranks, ponies, juniors, young riders, and now on the big stage in St. Gallen and in the water. Yeah, just had a little flight to the water, trying to get the horse back, and ended up not quite where he wanted to be on takeoff. But very nicely through the combination. His plate's also at 1.60 metre. Oh! Yeah, I think, like you say, maybe just made that distance a little bit long. Again, another young rider, probably wouldn't have had many opportunities to compete at this level.
17 penalties in all for Edward Schmitz for Switzerland with Cortino 46. Great slow-mo pictures. Was that just a question of there wasn't the stride there? Is that?
It looked to be that way, yeah. Just kind of a little bit unstuck, but they recovered very well.
We just had a 21-year-old. We now go to one of the more senior, one of the most successful athletes jumping today for the Netherlands, Jeroen Dubbeldam with Oak Grove's Carlisle. Well, what an extraordinary career this great man has had. Olympic world and European champions. This weekend, of course, the first of the Longines FEI Nations Cup, and Jeroen Dubbeldam was in the winning team for the Netherlands in the Nations Cup in Barcelona back in 2014.
Lovely son of Casal that he's riding. The rideability was really showing through there.
Yes, I got the feeling that was not easy, that approach, that one after the water. It was brilliantly executed.
gets caught out by that short distance to the B element in the combination. A bit of an unlucky pole there. It's a lovely line.
One down, 4 faults for the multi-medalist Jeroen Dubedam and Oak Groves Carlisle for the Netherlands.
Auch beim nächsten Rennen stimmt die Tagesform in der vorangegangenen Prüfung Dritter. Bringt jetzt Santiago an den Start, einen 11-jährigen Wallach in den Niederlanden gezogen. Im Februar 5. auf 4-Sterne-Leonie der von der dreimaliger Olympiateilnehmer für sein Land, 4-maliger Teilnehmer der Street Games und 2007 Zweiter in der Einzel- und Teamwertung.
So just the one clear from the first 5 competitors for Switzerland. Elian Bowman. Now to Egypt. A man who needs no introduction on the international circuit. Karim El Zogbi with the 11-year-old Zandigo. And this man is in flying form because he won a class earlier today, the 1 meter 45 this morning. Based in the Netherlands. Of Team Egypt for the Longines Nations Cup on Sunday.
That's a good sliding analysis. Just look out for that short distance to the B element, isn't it?
Is that going to become an issue, that, or might
It
it?
looks like it might. With a big spread at the A element and then the short 2 strides to B. It just looks like it's tired a little bit towards the end.
3 down, 12 faults. 1.5 seconds inside the time allowed of 72 seconds. Karim El Zogbi and Zandigo. 50 starters in the Longines FEI Grand Prix this afternoon, and the top 25%, so that'll be 13 in total, go through to the second round. Jump off. Just watching that middle part of the combination again, you know, we know that they have monitors out in the warm-up arena. I presume the other riders will be watching some of these rounds and thinking to themselves, I'm going to have to be a bit careful.
Yeah, I think they will have obviously walked the track and probably realised when walking it that was going to be a little bit short. It's almost taken the horses a bit by surprise.
Limited amount of spectators, of course. It's like we've missed out. You're looking at your start list. It looks like we've missed out Alad Yaniv with Israel at the moment, but we'll see if we can get some information on that. We've also missed out a rider earlier, Nikolaus Schertenberger for Switzerland. 2 no-shows, but we'll wait and see if we hear more news. For Egypt, Mohamed Talat riding the 10-year-old Darshan.
Beautifully bred horse, this, by Dumont de Semblé out of a Valladolid de Rouen there. sort of the great size of freedom. To the vertical.
Two down, 8 faults for Mohamed Talat and the 10-year-old Darshan.
Dann gehen wir weiter mit der laufenden Nummer 11 und begrüßen Artois Dagillon,
Now to Brazil. Stefan de Fraser's Barcher with Artois Davillon.
Off the triple bar, starting to cause a few problems.
That line's, I mean, we've had the middle part of that combination down a couple of times, but it's not riding too bad, is it?
No.
Two down, 8 faults for Stefan de Fraser's Barcher and Artois Davillon. He'll be very pleased to complete the course in the fashion that he has today, because it was at the last running of the St. Gallen show that during the Nations Cup on the Sunday, Stefan had an unfortunate fall and broke his collarbone. So great to see him back and flying around the arena here. And that just tells you that we've just got the one clear so far from the first 10 competitors. The clear being Elian Beaumont and Campari Z, representing Switzerland. Now to Italy. Antonio Alfonso with Donanonso, I should say. Plays the medal for the past 6 years. He jumped a couple of young horses in that first class this morning, 7, 8 and 8-year-olds, and he finished second and third. Steve Gerdat won. Antonio Alfonso finished in 2 places.
Brilliant opportunity to get the younger horses out into a big arena like this. So 13-year-old take the front bar.
12 faults for Antonio Alfonso for Italy and Denanso. And back to Brazil. Bernardo Cardoso do Resende Alves with Eltorio Damus. We'll give all the international teams for Brazil. Fighting for the first of the remaining 4 rounds of the Longines FEI Nations Cup on Sunday. Just the 4 rounds this year. Super round. That makes it 2 clears. That's a Bernardo Cardoso do Resende Alves and Eltorio Damus make it clear number 2 in the Longines FEI Grand Prix here in St. Gallen. Didn't look the easiest to rise towards the end of that round, did it?
No, a little bit stronger as he went round, but we're still listening.
Back to Switzerland. Gallen with Nanu the second. Just 22 years old, going through the juniors and young rider ranks for Switzerland.
2-time Swiss young rider champion. 7th individually at the Young Rider Championships last year on this horse. Great to see them make the step up to 5-star level.
How are we getting on? This young lady. An individual that I'm sure will be in the Swiss teams sooner or later in the seniors.
Absolutely.
And finishes just inside that time allowed. Perfect time, but with the 3 fences down. 12 faults for Ellen Ott and Nanu the second. Gappy fences, isn't there? Some of these. It's got to be jumped. We now go back to one of the riders that's come out of order. So if you've got your start list, this is Ilad Yaniv for Israel with Alvaro de Gay. And a very proud moment back in 2019 for this combination. Member of that Israel team that qualified for the Olympic Games. Huge crowd now.
Just got a little bit strong there after the water.
You know, these water jump fences, or these water widths of these shows 3.8, 4 meters wide, whatever. Do you practice those at home?
Yeah, riders will practice at home, probably not at the maximum width, more to accustom the horses to cantering down to a big pool of water.
Yeah. And I suppose some to it better than others.
Yes, absolutely, and yeah, it's more the fence afterwards, after the water, that becomes the problem. Once they're jumping water, that's not so much the problem. It's the fence after and maintaining the control.
Into 11th place with 13 penalties. For Israel goes Elad Yaniv and Alvaro Digay.
How many clears do you think we're going to get?
Well, that's a very good question. Thank you, Alice, for putting me on the spot. Well, we know that the 25% can go through, so it's going to be maximum 13 people. And the outset I thought, well, they're probably all going to be clear. So I'm going to stick with that.
13.
Yeah, which I know at the moment, you probably think I'm being a bit... You might give me a long price, but there's a big field
to come. Yeah.
I think I worked out, there's something like 25 Olympic medals scattered around this lot. Now for Switzerland, Matthias Schibli with Uno.
Beautifully through the combination. Cover there, just drifted slightly to the left. Matthias having to work quite hard to keep him straight, but doing a very good job.
How frustrating. Well,
didn't deserve that.
A good round appreciated by what crowds that are here at St. Gallen, or in St. Gallen. We're not, of course, there, but Matthias Schibli, just that last fence down with the 4 faults. Again, Liverpool, last fence, they come round there, look at the ground and not the oxer.
Exactly.
Now for Israel. Teddy Vlok with the 12-year-old Westphalian-bred Connor.
Lovely big grey by Cornado MRW.
Teddy Vlok, who's studying at Yale University, well, not right now, but when he's not doing this job.
And big horse just being caught out by a few of these really short distances. These are tall verticals. by that last fence.
17 penalties in all for Teddy Flock for Israel and Connor, part of the team for the Longines FEI Nations Cup on Sunday. He's a big horse, that. A big, long, striding horse. It's quite difficult.
Very big horse.
You need a track to really suit it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. 12 years old. Probably not had the most experience at this level yet.
For Switzerland, Mark Rosselberger with Agatha Cousin. I was just about to say you got the opposite.
Shorter striding. That part of the combination really starting to cause some trouble now. Just getting a little bit unsettled. So jumps that way. I think he's calling it a day. Good decision.
Mark Roethlisberger retires with Agatha de Cousin. More jumping opportunities. So just started the outdoor season, really.
Yes.
Now for Sweden. Malin Berger-Jonsson with the 9-year-old Zangazada bred El Baroni 123 111 El Baroni 3.
9-year-old stallion, son of Emerald. Relatively new ride for Malin. Joined her in January. Very impressive as a young horse in Belgium. And a lot of breeders in Europe have already used him. He already has approved stallions on the ground of his
Does he?
Yeah. Very popular as a breeding stallion already. Unlucky there, but he was showing us why.
Yeah, no scope.
Yeah. They're just 9 years old, again having very limited suffering last year. Very exciting prospect for the Swedish team. Big jumping horse and very adjustable.
Great round from the 9-year-old with Malin Berger-Jonsson for Sweden. One fence down, one time penalty. And as you indicate, Alice, I think we'll be seeing an awful lot more of this combination.
I think so.
Would you take a 9-year-old to the Olympic Games, or would that be a bit quick at this stage, do you think?
I think there've been many 9-year-olds at the Olympic Games. I think it is on the younger side. But when they show ability like that, if the riders feel they're ready, there's absolutely no reason why they can't.
For Germany, ranked just outside the top 100 in the world, Maurice Tebel with Chaco's son.
Gallen ist ein 12-jähriger Marathon, international abgehender Nachfolger von Giacomo. An seiner Seite sitzt der Mannschafts-Silbermedaillengewinner der Europameisterschaften von Göteborg 2017. In diesem Jahr Dritter in den großen Preisen von Michael von DH und Mannheim, Douglas Lindelöf für Schweden von Sweden.
Apologies, we lost connection there for a couple of moments. We've moved from Maurice Tebble straight to Douglas Lindelöf. I'll bring you Maurice Tebble's score shortly. Douglas Lindelöf for Sweden, with the 12-year-old Sheldon.
Sheldon by the great Shackle Blue. Very late falling fall there. Doesn't look the easiest of rides.
And the two fences down for Douglas Lindelöf for Sweden and Sheldon. And the previous competitor for Germany, Maurice Tebble, 3 fences down, 12 penalties. That's a good shot of the water.
Brilliant jumping.
Just apologies for the graphic there, which is of course Rodrigo Pessoa with Carlito's Way.
Showing just how it should be done.
Just thinking to myself that Rodrigo now doesn't have the pressures of a Shefty Keeps roll. What a copybook, perfectly judged round from the multi-medalist for Brazil. Rodrigo Pessoa makes it clear number 3 here in St. Gallen with Carlitos way 6. That was a superb round.
He really made it look very, very easy.
One clear for Switzerland, 2 for Brazil. Now for Great Britain. William Funnell riding Equine America's Billy Diama. The Equestrian Federation announced the shortlist team for the Olympic Games. William Funnell with this horse on that list, as are all the 4 members of the Longines Nations Cup team that will be jumping on Sunday.
Just 11 years old. Made his Nations Cup debut at 9 years old here at St. Gallen in 2019. William thinks an awful lot of this horse. The son of Kevin Zed.
You've done well with Billy horses, haven't you?
Yeah, my mare is also by Kevin Zed. Oh, happy. Just a little bit over the first bit.
What happened there?
Looked very unlucky. He was jumping beautifully. Hard to see from the straight on shot. Not quite happened.
11 penalties for Will Funnell and Equine America's Billy Diama. Now for Egypt. Muda Zayada with the 12-year-old Dutch-bred Empire. Regular member of the mixed national squad for Egypt. For Egypt in the Nations Cup in the UAE 4 years ago, because we lost that Nations Cup in February this year. Quite straight at that, was
No,
it?
I think he was possibly thinking about the time, trying to keep tight and paid the price, unfortunately.
Which led to the last 2 fences down, making it 3 fences down in all. 12 penalties for Muda Zayada for Egypt with Empire.
You can see the horse's head carriage naturally quite high, making his life not so easy.
Danny Woolman. Never will Danny jump anywhere and not be recognised. Danny Woolman for Israel with Queensland E.
Do you know how many feathers he has there?
2000. Is that right?
And 3,000 now.
Oh, actually, in the World Equestrian Games, I actually had a chat with her, and she was telling me, I thought she said 2000. I was slightly guessing.
It was.
I think I was slightly guessing when you asked me, because I thought I'd actually forgotten. I was just having a punt. It's honestly, it's such a huge amount of work, but it's great as well.
6 hours it takes to put the feathers in. She says that the feathers give you wings you never knew you had, and it looks like they're doing their job.
Just the one fence to go for Danny Woolman. Oh, once again, that front pole of the Oxer. And Danny wasn't sure. She's looked round and had a look, shaken her head. That is the 4 faults.
Really unlucky. They just got a little bit forward down the last line.
1 down. 4 faults for Danny Woolman and Queensland for Israel. 22 of the 50 starters gone. We've got 3 clears. 25% go. So that, I'm just looking at that 4 faults of Danny's, because there is a strong possibility that if we don't get, 13 clears, the quickest 4 faulters might get through into the second round.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a strong chance of that. But are you sticking with your 13 clears?
Yeah, go on. It's early in the season.
I'm doing 9. I'd like to see Danny in the jumper.
Andre Thiem for Germany with SP Shakaria already on top of the podium here in St. Gallen, won the 1m50 class on Guanaco yesterday, so in great form. Andre Thiem, Germany.
Jumping this horse. Beautifully beautiful. Obviously thinking about the time and had that fence.
And absolutely no problems at the last fence at all for Andre Thiem, but he had that upright down the plank, so it's just 4 faults. But again, it's quick. It's inside 70 seconds, 72 seconds of time allowed, and anything below 70 seconds with a 4 fault could be in touch if there are not 13 clears. Danny Woolman's 4 faults was 68.79. So Andre Thiem, 1 down, 4 faults. DSP Shakaria.
Didn't really deserve that fence. Very unlucky, but those cups are so flat and those planks are so light.
There's one of the giants of the sport, Rolf Göran Benson from Sweden, out in the wonderful facilities here. Rolf Göran's due in about 8 or 9 competitors' time. Kevin Jochems for the Netherlands. Turbo Z. We were talking earlier about the difference in comparison to 2 particular horses that came in following each other. Do you like a big long striding horse? Do you like them to be short coupled and lighter?
I like anything that can be.
And I suspected that might be the answer.
The little blood ones, if they're brave and they're brilliant fun and you can be very competitive on them. But if you get a big horse that's very rideable, makes everything a bit easier. Yes, and jumping. easily inside the time without even looking at his time.
What a super round for the Netherlands from Kevin Jokkens. He's a member of the team in the Longines Nations Cup on Sunday. Gone clear with turbo.
Happy with that.
And that's the 4th clear from the, I think it's 25 of the 50 competitors that are coming forward. That's a great shot. She might be a bit embarrassed when she sees that. For Ireland, Billy Toomey with Lady Lou. Individual appearance at time.
Lady Lou, a 12-year-old girl. I would say before I did John as well. And she's actually had an embryo transfer trial this year by Billy's other bride, Chatbot. And into his breeder. You could see Billy trying to set her up and settle her, and she just took it on a bit.
Just the last 2 down. Finishes with the just 2 down 8 faults. Billy Toomey for Ireland with Lady Lou, 8 penalties. All clear so far for Brazil, Bernardo Cardoso and Rodrigo Pessoa. For the Netherlands, Kevin Jokkens. And for Switzerland, Elian Bowman. That's the 4 clears so far. Here in the Longines FEI Grand Prix at St. Gallen. For Switzerland, Edwin Schmitz riding Ferretzo.
For the vertical.
It did rain. I was watching the first class this morning, and it was raining quite heavily. So whether that has made it a little bit.
It's made it a bit greasy on the top.
Inside the 72 seconds time allowed, but 3 fences down, 12 penalties for Edwin Schmitz for Switzerland and Ferretzo.
This level, all the fences are so interrelated. Once you had one fence, it's difficult to sometimes to get the horse back and keep your rhythm and carry on again. Just coming a little bit unstuck at the end there.
Do you mean that there's sort of related distances?
Related, yeah, related, and they all come up thick and fast, and if you make a little mistake at one,
it can
puts you
take,
off for the next one, and
yeah,
yeah.
and so on. Yeah.
you don't get much let up.
Is that the European champion? I think it was Martin Fuchs, I think. For Switzerland, Alain Jufa riding Dante Emen. Alain Jufa, who was recently joined in business with Steve Goddard, Steve's stables.
Part of the combination.
So felt it was better to go 6 after the water,
Yeah,
well,
we've seen
because
some go 7.
because he was going forward so much, he thought,
Yeah.
rather than disturb the
Yeah,
rhythm.
obviously trusts his horse to jump the verticals. Really blood, really horseless. Ideal riding.
Pings over the ox at the last. Another looks round, checks, it's clear, Elaine, no problem. Another clear for Switzerland. First one was Elian Bowman. So 4 clears. 5 clears so far, apologies. 5 clears so far. Riding as an individual, not in the team. Now move to a member of the Swedish team, Evelina Tobak, riding Delilah de la Pomme. The FEI Nations Cup finals in 2019. At the World Cup Polo in Barcelona, when Sweden finished in 3rd place in the final, and Evelina Tobak on Delilah was in that team. All the teams in Division 1, all the 10 teams in Division 1 of the Nations Cup invited the respective qualifiers, the remaining qualifiers, to the final in Barcelona. Super round for Sweden. Class act from Evelina Tobak and Delilah de la Pomme. Another clear. That's just the 6th clear, in fact, we've had. We've had nearly 30 of the 50 competitors. Evelina made that look easy.
Yeah, that was brilliantly ridden around, brilliantly judged inside the time.
Now for Great Britain. 21 years old. Harry Charles, riding Milanese Halter. Yesterday he was 3rd in the 1 metre 50 class.
Taking him on Heron. It's the end of last year and doing this year.
The 21-year-old on the Olympic shortlist for Great Britain.
Brilliant for Harry to have the opportunity to ride off a race like this for an owner without the pressure of having to sell. sells a lot of horses for America, Canada, all around the world, and great pride to have one without the pressure of having to sell.
3 benches down, 12 faults for Harry Charles. Pyrenees Horta.
Yeah, it's still a very new combination, this.
We'll be seeing them again on Sunday. 6 clears in all. The last one was Evelina Tobeck for Sweden. That's the 6th clear for Brazil. 2 for Brazil. The quickest 4-faulter at the moment, Danny Woolman, and that may be significant because 25% of this class will go through to the jump-off, or 13 of the 50. So keeping an eye on that 68.79 of Danny Woolman's. For Sweden, former world number 1, Rolf Göran Bengtsson with Castellano Jimen.
Beautiful horse, 15 years old. Getting caught out for that little part.
Down at the moment, just one to negotiate. Stays on the 4 faults. Rolf Göran Bengtsson for Sweden with Castellano Jimen. Puts him in 9th place, 6 clears. I make it 18 competitors still to jump here in the Longines FEI Grand Prix of St. Gallen. The first of the 2 rounds. For Italy, Emanuele Camilli with Giacomo. Skip through the combination. Right, Alex clipped over the 72 seconds time allowed. 5 penalties in all for Emanuele Camilli and Giacomo. Looks it wasn't that straight at the water. I didn't actually see it on the first time around. Steve Goddard due in about 8 horses' time here in St. Gallen. Now for Mexico, Manuel Gonzalez Dufresne with Hortensia van der Leeuwenhoek. Gold medalist a couple couple of years ago at the Central American Games. Do you breed your own show jumping? I know your parents breed racehorses, but do you?
I breed a couple. I've taken some embryos from my filly bred mare. So yeah, just a couple a year now.
Just the one down, the 4 faults for Manuel Gonzalez Dufresne for Mexico. Time 70.43, so puts him into 10th place behind the 6 clears and the quicker 4 faulters.
Really have to stretch coming up there. Just came down a fraction too soon.
Now for Great Britain, Holly Smith riding Denver, currently ranked 50th in the world rankings.
Another rider on the short list for Tokyo with Denver. She's done really well to get to where she has with Denver. She evented up until a few years ago when she got the ride. And Holly coped unbelievably well with the devastating loss of her top horse, Heart's Destiny, and those Denver has stepped up to this level, having been supporting him up until that point. Good round.
Good round for Great Britain for Holly Smith. 1 down, 4 penalties for Holly Smith and Denver, Great Britain.
It's getting a little bit strong there.
Let's get Philip on his way. I'll just have a recap on where we are with the 4 fault times. So for Germany, Philipp Weissart with Kobe 8. 6 clears. The 13 are going to go through to the jump off in the Longines FEI Grand Prix of St. Gallen. We've had 6 clears so far. The quickest 4 faulter, Danny Woolman for Israel, 68.79. Will this be the 7th clear? It is indeed the 7th clear and didn't look to be going very fast, but 67.67 seconds. It's not a timed round. Time allowed 72 seconds, but Alice, a naturally very quick horse because he wasn't chasing.
Yeah, and rider, I think, as well.
Yeah, I'm sure.
These top guys, you don't notice them going quickly. They're taking tighter lines and travelling and interfering with the horse as little as possible.
Clear number 7 for Germany, Philipp Weishart and Kobe 8. Now for the Netherlands, Jeuwreiling with Vermincino van de Kelbaan.
Say that, not me.
With people, was it Paul O'Shea? He had a horse who finished 4th on the first day, and that was much more like it. It was called Squirt Gun.
Yeah. There's a 10-year-old by Pot Blue after another female from that. Beautifully bred. Brought out coming up that combination.
Two down, one time penalty for Jeuwreiling, twice winner of the Longines FEI Nations Cup final in Barcelona, which is where they're all aiming for later on this year, along with the European Championships, the Olympic Games. A busy year for the jumpers. Jeuwreiling, 9 penalties with Vermincino van de Kelbaan for the Netherlands. Number 3 in the Longines FEI World Rankings, reigning European champion Martin Fuchs for Switzerland with Leonie J. This is just a 9-year-old.
Out. Just a little bit of mistake there.
Well, Martin's done well on grade. Just that rather silly mistake for the 4 faults for the European champion Martin Fuchs and Leonie J. Into 9th place goes Martin Fuchs for Switzerland.
Very green mistake there.
12 left to come in this, the first round of the Longines FEI Grand Prix of St Gallen. Now in the arena, world ranked number 40, Paul O'Shea with Skara Glen's Machu Picchu. One of the defending champions from the 2019 Longines FEI Nations Cup final. And as I mentioned earlier, finished in the money yesterday in the 1 meter 50 class on squirt gun. I have to know where that came from. Again, that fence that came down there, that just looks a little bit of a silly mistake.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a short distance coming down the hill, but some of them were just leaving a leg on it. Showing his experience now. Really silly mistake on the end, but
with that 4 fault, stops the clock in 71.78, so out of the top 13 going, which is what's required to go through to the second round of the Longines FEI Grand Prix. Paul O'Shea into 16th place with Skara Glen's Machu Picchu. Still the fastest of the This is going to be, oh, okay. I was about to say it was going to be a fast 4 faults, but it was 12 faults in the end for the Brazilian Rodrigo Lambre and Chakiana. 12 faults into 29th place. And we have 8 clears so far. Alain Bowman for Switzerland. Bernardo Cardoso, Rodrigo Pessoa, Kevin Jochems, Alan Jufa, Evelina Toback, Philip Weissart, and Giorgia Bucci. That's the 8 clears so far. 9 left to jump in the arena here in St. Gallen. The world number 1 for Switzerland, Steve Godat with Alberfrains Maddox. Amongst the extraordinary amount of wins over a great career, picked up another win this morning with an 8-year-old in the young horse class.
Around the turn if you wanted it to.
Well, number 1, not into the second round of the Longines Grand Prix here in St. Gallen. Just a young horse. Like a jump, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. Just 10 years old.
Twelve penalties in all for the world number 1, Steve Godat, for our hosts here in St. Gallen, riding Alberfrains Maddox. Was that triple bar? Didn't see it. We'll get that one later.
The triple bar.
Yeah.
The cups are so shallow and the poles are so light these days.
For the Netherlands, Bless with Jin D. Top 60 rankings, 57 at the moment.
A bit of a dislike to the water though.
Hat gewusst, dass ich noch nicht am Posten bin, hat er kommt dann auf das Goal.
High head code that just makes him a little bit trickier to control and did well to get him over. He did well to with a big horse.
21 penalties in all for Bart Bless and the 15-year-old Jindy for the Netherlands. 7 left to go in the first of the 2 rounds of the Longines FEI Grand Prix here in St. Gallen. Great to be out on the grass.
Jim, do you think so?
Now for France. Penelope Leprevaux with Vancouver de Lanlore. Ranked 28th in the world rankings. Top lady runner in the world. And jumped to double clear the Nations Cup final on this horse. Last running in 2019. One of your heroes, Alice?
Definitely an idol. Beautiful rider to watch. And does so well with all types of horses, all different types. She's got a good styling by too long. Not everyone gets on the stallions, but has done well with a lot of work.
Four faults in 67.36, and that could be a very significant round for France. Penelope Leprevaux goes into 9th place, basically being the fastest of the four faulters now. 13 will go through, so just the foot on the tape at the water. Into 9th place goes Penelope Leprevaux with Vancouver de Lanlore.
Deceptively fast round there.
Zu uns in die Bahn gekommen ist Zeit. 13-jährige Schule in Niederland gezogen von Lyon. In ihrer Sache sitzt Bernd.
Now we go to Mexico. No, we don't. It looks like we don't have Santiago Lambert at the moment. So we go to Switzerland. Former winner of the World Cup final. Beat Manley with Deservi. Equally well known in the sport of jumping as a rider and a trainer. Two to go. Just the upset with the Liverpool. No difficulty whatsoever for Beat Manley. That makes it another clear for Switzerland. It's clear number 9 in the Longines FEI Grand Prix. looks like now with 3 clears out of the 9 so far in this competition.
A brilliantly judged round. Totally relaxed. Looked like he was having a schooling round.
Penelope Leprovo, the fastest of the 4 falters, so she's still in the money for getting into the jump off. The 13 to go through, so we've had 9 clears. 4 left to jump. So they would all need to go clear before we not have any 4 falters into the second round of the Grand Prix. For Germany, Christian Kuckuck, riding checker 47. With the beard on. .36, the fastest of the 4 falters. He stops the clock just outside that time, but it's in the top 13. There's 3 left to go, so we could be seeing Christian Kuckuck in the jump off. Time will tell, but 4 faults, Christian Kuckuck and checker 47 for Germany.
Slightest touch.
3 to go. For Great Britain, Scott Brash riding the 12-year-old Hello Vincent. 8th in the Longines world rankings. Already been placed twice in St. Gallen the last couple of days with Hello Vincent. Sorry, Hello Forever.
Vincent, a 12-year-old, ridden by Jodie Hall-McAteer. Who's having great success.
Like the other 2 British riders that we've seen, Scott Brash on that short list announced. It was yesterday, wasn't it? That was this morning. Yesterday was for all the different games.
Scott double-handed. Selected with 3 horses. Vincent got his name because he has a part of his ear missing.
Is that right?
Yeah. Really strong team of horses again.
2 to go for Great Britain. 1 to go. Will this be a clear for Great Britain here in the Grand Prix at St. Gallen? Yes, it is. That's a super clear, faultless round from Scott Brash with Hello Vincent for Great Britain, and that makes it clear number 10.
That was pretty much foot perfect.
I was just going to say it was faultless, wasn't it? I mean, I don't just mean faultless in terms of, I mean, it was foot perfect, textbook as you say, Alice.
Yeah. Just in a snaffle.
€150,000 up for grabs in this Grand Prix. Got 10 clears. Looks like at the moment the four falters in line for the jump-off place. Penelope Lepreveau for France, Christian Cook for Germany, and Danny Woolman for Israel. But there are still two to jump. And the first of those two already in the arena, Adson Gallen, Niall Nassar, world rank number 67 in the Longines rankings, Igor van der Witmore for Egypt.
Started off with a fair bit of pacing. I think he's going to be able to maintain it.
I'm sure we're not in a way. Still clear. Just the one to go for Egypt. Clears the last, a very quick time, but that doesn't matter because it's clear inside the time. That is clear, number 11. Egypt into the jump-off with Niall Nassar and Igor van der Witmore, which has just pushed out, by my reckoning, Danny Woolman with Queensland for Israel. She's just been nudged out of a place with that four faults of 68.79. Two four faulters still in the hunt in the jump-off at the moment with one left to jump. That's Penelope Lepreveau, Christian Cook. But the final rider in the arena due is Martin Fuchs with Danny Woolman and Mr. Gerda. I'm not sure if the camera shot was on the world number 1 and the world number 3 or on Danny Woolman's hair. I wasn't quite sure what that was about. No. Correction. We lost him earlier. He's back. So there's two left to jump. Santiago Lambre for Mexico with Jaco Blue the second. Maybe a loose shoe or something like that prevented him coming in right. Santiago Lambre riding for Mexico, and the brother, his brother Rodrigo Lambre, who rode earlier with 12 faults, rides for Brazil. And I think it was their uncle that rode for Argentina. So a truly international family in the sport of jumping. That's a super round. He's got one time penalty on top of the 4. So 5 in all for Santiago Lambre for Mexico with Jaco Blue the second. I make it now. One more to jump, which means whatever happens, Penelope Lepreveau will be in the jump-off with her 4 faults. Brian Bulsiger with 22 Debishis for Switzerland. Just 24 years old, really made his mark in the last couple of years, both in the Nations Cup Series, Grand Prix, and also in World Cups. Let's put him in 14th place, so just 1 out of the 13. So that is 4 faults for the Brian Pulsiger and 22 Dabish, and by our reckoning here, that completes, I think it was 49 that came forward in the first round of the Longines FEI Grand Prix of St. Gallen. 11 clears, 13 eligible for the second round, being a rounded up 25% of the 50 in the first round. That standoff as far away as it looked as if it did. So that means that by our reckoning here, we have got Philippe Weissart, Niall Nasser, Scott Brash, Evelina Tovek, Eliane Bowman, Rodrigo Pessoa. The top, that's the first 6 clears. And they will be going into the second round of the Grand Prix, along with Kevin Jochens, the Netherlands, Alain Jufer, Pierre-Georges Abucci, Bernard Cardoso, Beat Manley for Switzerland, and Penelope Leprevost qualified with the 4 faults, as has Kristen Kucker for Germany, who we've just seen jump. That makes it the 13 that go through into the second round of the 2021 Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland. Some of those further down the line with a few time penalties there, several with 8 faults. Reiling from the Netherlands with a time penalty on top of the 2 down. Will Funnell for Great Britain with 9. A lot of these competitors we'll be seeing again in the Longines FEI Nations Cup on Sunday. So they prepare the course here for the jump off in the Longines FEI Grand Prix. We'll just take a couple of minutes break whilst they prepare the course, and we'll be back with you with the jump off in just a few moments' time.
weiter. Auf linke Hand, neues Hindernis 15, Backhaus und gegen den Ein- und Ausritt gesprungen. Dann der Longines FEI, Hindernis 2 aus der ersten Runde. Das ist also die zweite entscheidende Runde für die 13 Besten in der Kursanimation für eine Grand Prix, die das etwas schnell gegangen ist, noch einmal etwas detaillierter. Wir starten also in der Mitte des Platzes in den Hindernis 4, Längerer Steilsprung in dunkelblau mit etwas weiß gehalten, 1,60 hoch. Es geht auf Höhe des Wasserbahnzeichner auf den neuen Sprung 14, ein Ochser mit den Klostertürmen, 1,53 hoch, 1,50 breit. Dann auf linke Hand vor der Tribüne. Es verbleibt das zweite Element B, der dreifache Sprung 7 aus der ersten Runde mit den Bogenfenstern in weiß und den unigoldfarbenen Steinen. Dann von der Tribüne weggesprungen, neues Hindernis 15, dieser in Rot mit etwas grün und weiß aufgebaute Ochser, 1,53 hoch, 1,60 breit, Wendung nach rechts. Auf das Backhaus in den Ein- und Ausritt gesprungen, neuer Sprung 16, 1,57 hoch mit den Stangen in weiß, gelb und grün gehalten und in direkter Linie auf den Ein- und Ausritt zugesprungen, Hindernis 2, der Longines FEI 1,50 hoch, 1,50 breit. Das ist die zweite Runde. Alles, was Sie sonst noch wissen müssen, ist, dass 2 Mal mit 4 Punkten aus der ersten Runde in die Entscheidung gehen, bedeutet gleichzeitig, diese 4 Punkte werden alle fürs Ergebnis von diesen 2 Paaren mitgenommen. Alle weiteren 11 Paare makellos in der ersten Runde und Sonntag makellos für die alles entscheidende zweite Runde. Der Marco in der zweiten Runde 360 Meter lang, Zeit 54 Sekunden. Ladies and gentlemen, the second round for the best 13 in the reverse order of the results from the first round of the following obstacles: 4, 14, 17, 15, 9, 11 A and B, 16 and 2.
Alice, this is the jump-off course for the second round of the Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland. Sorry to throw that at you. What's it like?
Down to the last oxer.
Any room to get a gallop in and make up some ground? Looks like there was a couple of loops
Like
there. There was some big
yeah,
loops.
and I think some distance options, I imagine, as well.
Looking into the great facilities and the great grounds team, arena team in the St. Gallen. 35 years they've had competitions here. In fact, that may not be quite right. I think we did have a show back in 1978. But this beautiful bowl, you can just see the banking around the arena. It's like that all the way around here. It's sort of dug out and made flat, purpose-built. First into the arena, we've got the 2 4-falters from the first round, the quickest of the 4-falters to make up the 13 through from the first 50. Christian Kukuk, Penelope Leprovo will come next, then Beat Mandley, then Bernardo Cordasso de Resende for Brazil, then Piergiorgio Bucci for Italy, Alain Jufer for Switzerland, Kevin Jochems for the Netherlands, Rodrigo Pessoa for Brazil, Eliane Bowman for Switzerland, Evelina Tovac for Sweden, Scott Brash for Great Britain, Niall Nasser for Egypt, and the last in the arena for the jump-off of the Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland will be Philipp Weissart of Germany. The 2 4-falters from the first round carry forward those faults. The first horse in the arena in just a few moments' time. €150,000 is the total prize fund.
Entdecken Sie in diesem Rahmen die offizielle Uhr unserer Exzellenz, ein Modell aus der eleganten Longines Dolce Vita Kollektion. Dieses Modell aus Stahl ist mit einem feinen Diamantbesatz versehen und präsentiert sich an einem auswechselbaren
13 forward for the second and final round, the jump-off of the Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland. The first of the 2 riders in the jump-off representing Germany, Christian Kukuk with Checker 47. Four faults carried forward from the first round. Always interesting to see the first to go in the jump-off. Not the best place to be, is it? You get no opportunity to have a bit of a sneak preview to see what else what can happen.
No, but I imagine these 2 4-falters are going to go for a nice clear, not too quick, but just enough to put the pressure on the outside. They're pretty good for it.
Christian Kukuk, Germany. Didn't add any more penalties to his time. He went clear in the jump-off, carried for the 4 penalties, 48.83 seconds, throws the gauntlet down for the remaining competitors in the jump-off of the Longines Grand Prix. 48.83 with 4 faults. Christian Kukuk for Germany. For France, Penelope Leprovo with Vancouver Delannoy. Also carries forward the 4. Right. Let's see what the leading lady rider in the world can make this jump off here in St. Gallen. Oh, that looked fantastic. Oh, perhaps too fantastic. .58.29 the time with the 10 penalties. Puts Penelope Lepreveau into second place in the jump off at the moment. 58.29, 10 penalties. A disappointing round. The tight turn just didn't quite pay off, or didn't pay off at all, in fact, for Penelope Lepreveau.
Kristen put the pressure on with that the judge round. Has to go.
Now for Switzerland. Beat Manley, the first of the 11 clears from the first round of the Grand Prix. Beat Manley for Switzerland with Dzeri. Switzerland with 3 riders in the jump off.
He's already taken one stride out down
I
there
was
to
just
the
going
other
to.
two.
I think we're watching a man with on a mission.
Yeah. Got the angle coming away from that. How tight does he come back to it? Not so tight, but kept a good rhythm.
Super shot. .48.72 with no penalties to bring forward or to add. So into the lead goes Beat Manley for Switzerland, 48.72. And he was just a bit faster than, tenth of a second faster than Christian Kucker.
Yeah. Just kept that rhythm all the way round.
So, the new leader, Beat Manley for Switzerland. Now we go to Brazil. Bernardo Cardoso de Resende Alves, riding Ulterior Dems. 10 to jump.
Again, going to take this a little unsettled.
Course designer Gerard Lachau has put 2 very tight turns in his jump, of course, isn't he? Bernardo Coração Resende Alves for Brazil. 8 faults into third place with a jump-off time of 52.64. Giorgio Bucci for Italy, with Nejad Del Sandan clear in round 1.
Shorter striding blood mare who went the extra 1 to 2.
Oh, both down. .48.44 the time, 2 fences down, so 8 faults for Giorgio Bucci for Italy. Puts them into third place. Current leader, the only clear so far from 5 of the 13 that have gone in the jump-off here in the Longines FEI Grand Prix. Beat Manley for Switzerland. Clear 48.72. For Switzerland. Alain Jufa with Dante Emen. .48.72. Time to beat. Maintained a good pace though, hasn't he?
Yeah. He's not going all that. You can see the horse just fighting. It's not trying to settle it down.
Stops the clock in 54.16 seconds. Puts him into 5th place with the 9 penalties.
I think the course builder's really daring the riders to gallop down to that double. It's got a short stride, really tall vertical coming in, short stride in the middle. So some of them are setting off there, trying to regain the control, and it's not always happening as they're planning for it to.
Now to the Netherlands, sole representative for the Netherlands in the jump-off here in St. Gallen. Kevin Jochems with Turbo Z. Quick replacement. No jumping competition anywhere in the world can take place without a great arena party.
Das nächste Pferd ist bei uns Obester unter seinem Reiter so schnell ist wie sein Name.
He was just getting a little bit of a problem getting into listen, wasn't he, coming into this?
Yeah, I think so. And then just lost a bit of momentum. Interesting to see that whole break with the safety flaps these days. That's very
Unusual.
Yeah.
Kevin, the Netherlands.
Nice forward rhythm.
Well, that was looking like a great round. We just lost images here at a critical stage of the competition. We'll be right back with you as soon as we can. Current leader Beat Manley, but we're not sure what happened to Kevin Jochems. So Beat Manley, after the 6 competitors of the 30, was a clear leader of 48.72, but not just the time. He was the only one to actually jump a clear round in the jump off, but we're not sure whether we just wait and see if we can establish where we are at the moment. Well, one of the other screens has told me that we've got a new leader in the Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland. Kevin Jochems for the Netherlands goes into the lead with Turbo Z, 46.69. 46.69. New leader in the Longines FEI Grand Prix. Kevin Jochems for the Netherlands, Turbo Z. We'll just wait for the signal to pick us up again. Next in the arena, we're expecting, probably jumping at the moment, 3 times winner of the Longines FEI World Cup final, along with many other medals, Rodrigo Pessoa for Brazil with Carlitos Way. Elian Bowman in the arena. Rodrigo Pessoa gone into 3rd place with a clear on 49.14 with Carlitos Way, and now in the arena the man who set the pace in the first round for Switzerland, Elian Bowman, the first clear for Switzerland, and the current leader Kevin Jochems, 46.69. 48.52 into second place. Elian Bowman for Switzerland, pleasing the crowds that are there in St. Gallen. Into second place, 48.52. Elian Bowman riding Campari Z. Four left to jump. Evelina Toback for Sweden. Scott Brash for Great Britain. Niall Nasser for Egypt, and Philipp Weissart for Germany. Evelina Toback for Sweden with Delilah de la Pomme. .69. Super shot. Into second place, 48.07 for Evelina Toback and Delilah de la Pomme for Sweden. 48.02 into second place. That time of 46.69 set by Kevin Jochen of the Netherlands looks very, very quick indeed. Well, we have 3 more left to jump. 46.69. That's the time to beat. For Great Britain, Scott Brash. Hello, Vincent.
Tight run to that fence. Really moving up to this opposite. Landing in 23, 2 seconds up on the third place. Really trusting him down for his vertical. Really jump out. Really big rhythm run that time.
46.69. Watch the clock. Flies the Oxer. Absolutely brilliant round from the former world number 1. Scott Brash for Great Britain goes into the lead and smashes Kevin Jochen's time, 45.41. That was a fantastic round, Alice, wasn't it?
That was.
He just slipped on the bend too, coming into.
Yeah, I think.
Is that losing a shoe as well?
Was it a pad?
Was it a pad? I don't know. It's all happening. Actually, it looked like the studs were still there, actually, didn't it?
The shoe was still there.
Yeah.
But I think that last turn back looks a little bit slippy and leads.
Great Britain into the lead with Scott Brash. And hello, Vincent. 2 left to jump.
And that will take some beating.
It will.
He kept a really good rhythm all the way round.
But Niall Nasser and Philipp Weissart, well, they're not going to go home.
Absolutely not.
Niall Nasser for Egypt. Igor van der Witmore. Breathtaking round for Great Britain from Scott Brash, 45.41. time to beat.
How tight can he turn? Scott landed in 22s, wide around there. So he's a second down at this stage. Really travelling to his double and jumps it well.
He's going to go. Flies. Where will the clock stop? He's done it. 45.32. Niall Nasser goes into the lead. He looks up, he's looking around to see what's happening. He's gone into the lead for Egypt. Igor van der Witmore, that was an incredible round.
That was really impressive. I think he made up that distance. He made up the time to the double. He was a second down on this turn, landing after this vertical, and just motored up for the double, kept coming and really trusted his horse to back off and jump it.
0.1 of a second, a tenth of a second, pips Scott Brash and goes into the lead for Egypt. Niall Nasser, Igor van der Witmore. What a tremendous culmination of the Longines FEI Grand Prix here in St. Gallen. We've still got one to go, and the man that's going to come in the arena for Germany is more than capable of troubling Niall Nasser's time. Philip Kobe 8 for Germany. 45.32 the time to beat. Tighter turn. Very balanced. I would say a similar time to Niall Nasser. Yeah, because he caught up the rest of the time. 45.32. Philip Weissard gallops for Germany, comes down to the Oxer. He's going to fly. It stays up. What's the time? He goes into third place. 46.05. Philip Weissard for Germany with Kobe 8.
Just didn't get that forward shot that he wanted for the last. He had to set him up a little bit. Just cost him those milliseconds.
What a breathtaking start to the outdoor season. The Longines FEI Grand Prix. Just talk us through some of these slow-mos, Alice, because that was an extraordinarily great round as well, and into third place.
This turn back after the Oxer, he was really tight back here.
Great shot, Niall Nasser. I've got it.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Oh, you're so good. Thank you so much.
Congratulations from Steve Gallen.
Thank you. Thanks, that was so good. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I can't believe that.
Well, what a tremendous competition here on the Friday in St. Gallen. So, the first three all had quicker rounds, all in the last three to jump. So, Niall Nasser for Egypt takes the 2021 Longines FEI Grand Prix of Switzerland. Scott Brash for Egypt in second place for Hella Vincent. Philipp Weissart in third for Germany. Kevin Jochen was a super round early on in the jump-off, but ended up in fourth place. Evelina Tovac into fifth. In sixth place, Eliane Bowman for Switzerland. Seventh, Beard Manley also for Switzerland. Rodrigo Pessoa in eighth place. In ninth place, and one of the four falters from the first round, but crept up 4 places in the jump-off, Christian Kuckuck for Germany. In 10th place, Piergiorgia Bucci with Nahad Delsandan. And that's the top 10 in the Longines Grand Prix of Switzerland. And the winning